Choice. Every human achievement comes to this single word. The state of life you're in right now, the partner you choose, your physical, spiritual, and emotional wellness is nothing but a choice you made, even through the things that seem can't control. I'm not saying this to say we live in a perfect world that gives us a choice every time we ask, but even though the world throws something at us, it's our choice that decides what becomes of us. There's this example where two brothers have an alcoholic father, and the first one grows up to be like his dad, and the second grows to be a rather better person. When somebody asks the brother why they are this way, the first said, "My father was an alcoholic, so I became an alcoholic." And the second said, "My father was an alcoholic, so I decided not to become like him." Here we see that these kids didn't choose to have an alcoholic father, but the way they dealt with it was different. Choice takes the veil of our eyes that makes us not take responsibility for our actions, because if we absolutely believe what happens is by choice, then we wouldn't blame other circumstances. This is why so many of us are afraid of choices, because they make us uncomfortable, giving us a burden to carry for future things to come. The world is not fair because it never stops to care what your feelings are, and it will not lend you a helping hand when it passes by. But instead of crying about it, we need to choose to play this unfair game, and we do that by controlling our choices. So we need to make this choice in our life that decides what becomes of us. Choice is, whose plan do you choose to play? God has a plan for you, so does the devil. So which plan are you gonna choose? Most probably you're gonna choose the one that has good destination. I talk too much about choice, but how do we actually make a choice? There are two ways. First one is you experiment. It's good if you do it yourself, see what people say it's good, and do it and see for yourself if it's really worth the hype, and mostly end up being disappointed. But time is not that long for you to sit around, try a bunch of areas in your life until you get the right one, because you may not get the right one. That's how many people die without being fulfilled. The second, the better one. This one is to learn from people like a kid that knows nothing. We learn from people through various ways. The movies we watch, the books we read, everything we see is an information that has been put in front of us to make us understand a man's mistake and how he dealt with it. So this information will help us in creating our own reality in which that mistake doesn't exist and a better reality is created. Ask all like your grandma and understand truly what is right and wrong from their viewpoint, and you could actually understand some important things. When I talk about this second approach, one quote comes to my mind: "A good man learns from his mistakes. A wise man learns from others' mistakes." Look for older and better people and truly learn from their mistakes. We talked about choice, but the choice we choose may not always be the right one. We all make mistakes, but it's okay to sometimes make bad choices. We could return back in our track anytime. And so many people say, what's the right choice? What's the wrong one? Many of us know what the right choice is. Many of us know what the right thing to do is. But we kind of don't want to accept that fact, because if we make the choice, consequence is gonna happen and we may not like it. Make the choice that feels right in your conscience and move on with it, no matter what becomes of that choice.